Welcome to my next video. In this video I will be discussing some of the problems as I see it with MMP as it is used in New Zealand. MMP is a proportional electoral system that chooses our government after the voter has cast 2 votes. The first vote is for your local electorate candidate. This is run on the first past the post system, whereby the candidate with the most votes is elected, even if they did not get majority support. By this I mean that candidate 1 could get 35% of the vote, candidate 2 30%, candidate 3 20%, candidate 4 10%, and the balance of 5% scattered between the rest. Therefore, candidate 1 wins the seat with only 35% of the vote. Now, if candidate 1 was right-leaning, but candidates 2 and 3 were left-leaning, the result is patently wrong. To cure this, some form of preferential voting is required. Now for the second vote. This is for the party of your choice. Here you choose between a selection of parties that you wish to form the government. This vote is by far the most important of your 2 votes, although it was not promoted as such in the lead up to the referendum to select our voting system. This is the vote that establishes the seats in Parliament. The percentage of party votes a party gets establishes the number of seats in Parliament awarded to that party. This is irrespective of the number of electorate seats that it wins. There are some anomalies to this. First, the party vote any party receives must be 5% or more of the total to get into Parliament, if you have no electorate seats, that is. If you have 1 or more electorate seats, then the percentage of the party vote you get sets the number of seats you get in Parliament. In the last election in New Zealand, both the Green Party and New Zealand First did not win any electorate seats, but by getting more than 5% of the party vote, they were both entitled to seats. ACT, on the other hand, did win 1 electorate seat and is therefore entitled to the number of seats based on the percentage of party votes it receives. It did not receive enough votes to increase its seat numbers. The third major anomaly is that, and although it is very unlikely, a party may not win any electorate seats but get a significant percentage of party votes. This would mean that they are still entitled to the number of seats in Parliament equivalent to its percentage of the party vote. On top of this, the winners of the electorate seats are still entitled to their seats. This scenario would mean a larger Parliament than that envisaged, or a hangover as it is called. Accordingly, our 120-seat Parliament could grow massively in number and expense. This because the proportionality, as established by the party vote, must be maintained. The next anomaly. An election candidate can be on the party list as well as standing in an electorate. If they win the electorate seat, then they are removed from the list of candidates. A party leader, for example, is often an electorate candidate and also first on the party list, so they must be elected. Now, some of the real problems as I see it. Number 1. This whole system whereby the party vote is supreme means that the party machines are also supreme. Just like socialism, the one you must satisfy is not the customer, or in this case the voter, but the party machine. Accordingly, there is no need to satisfy the electorate, as their opinion really does not matter. Be a good party man, get high enough on the party list, and you will be elected. So who are you likely to want to please the most? The party, of course, as it is them who control your future. Number 2. The electorate dislikes you, but your position on the party list is supreme. You stand for an electorate seat and are rejected by the voters, but because of your high position on the list, you are still elected. Rejected by the voter, but saved by the party. So who will you want to please the most? The party, of course, as it is them that controls your future. Number 3. Either of the two major parties are most unlikely to get sufficient seats to govern on their own. Accordingly, coalitions are the norm under MMP. This is in fact what happened in all the elections under MMP system in New Zealand. Coalitions result in weak government, as no one party is able to force their agenda through Parliament. They must at all times bow down to their small partners, as it is them that decide who in fact rules. I agree that this can result in the right decisions, such as the scrapping of the capital gains tax by New Zealand First. However, it only, in effect, brought the scrapping of the tax forward, as the National Party would have campaigned on this issue and, if successful, would have ditched the tax. What does this mean? It means that the tail is wagging the dog. A party with just 5% of electorate support can tell the other 95% what to do. Number 4. Election promises. Prior to the election, all parties publish a manifesto of policies that they will implement if elected. Some of these may be regarded as bottom lines and will be adhered to no matter what. Guess what? When coalition negotiations are conducted, nothing is a bottom line, as all policies are up for grabs. Therefore, pre-election promises mean nothing. Number 5. The Green Party, a party that is normally supported by 5 and 10% of the population, and now, because it is in a confidence and supply agreement with Labour, is able to implement some of its extreme policies. This because the larger party in the coalition will support them, because they need their support to stay in power. Number 6. A party can decide on its own who it will select to govern with. In the last election, it was assumed by some, if not most, of its supporters that New Zealand First would side with National. However, the leader's bias against National meant that it chose Labour. All this without any input from the electorate. Party supremacy again. So what is wrong with MMP? The parties are in control, not the people. Be a good party person, even with little or no talent, and you are in. Weak governments are the result. Minor parties control major ones. The tail wagging the dog. MPs that are high on the list cannot be got rid of. And finally, election promises are not really promises at all. With your help, we can get this system changed. In the next video on this matter, I will put some of my ideas forward for improvement. Well, that is the end. Like and share this, and if you wish, subscribe. Use the appropriate buttons. If you would like to comment, feel free. It is good to have a two-way conversation. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.